Hi, my name is Carl Valeri with Aviation Careers Podcast, and I'm going to answer a question today from somebody who wrote in. Says, should I pay for the ATP CTP if I'm at 700 hours right now as a flight instructor? So we're going to get into that right now. This question comes from our group mentorship program, and you can actually get 1 month free in that program using the coupon code CoachItForward. Just click on mentorship there, or go to aviationcareerspodcast.com/mentorship. Normally I answer these questions in that mentorship program, but we're doing a whole series, interview prep series, so we're going to answer this one now. So let me get into it right now with the question that came in. Thanks so much for writing in on this question. It says, I am currently a CFI sitting around 700 hours total time. I have a friend who I trained and studied with in flight school, and he wants me to take the ATP CTP course with him soon. My question is it viable to take the ATP CTP course on my own time these days? I know that it would make more competitive, but I always thought that the airlines, more or less, always would pay for it when hired. Well, there's a lot of things in there to unpack, and some of the verbiage you used is really interesting, like always, etc. First of all, it depends. It really depends, and it depends on your situation. So we're going to specifically talk about your situation and the situation for everybody else who's sitting at 700 hours to see if they should do the ATP CTP. Let's understand this. The market has changed, right? But the market always changes in aviation. Right now, I would say the most important thing is concentrate on building your hours first. As you get closer to that 1,500 hours, think about the ATP CTP. I'll get to your specific question because you have a special situation where you can go in with somebody and get a really good deal. So if this deal that you're talking about is really good, yeah, it may make sense right now. It all really depends, first of all, how much extra money you have, etc. But the airlines in general, you use the word always, don't always pay for the ATP CTP. Yes, lately it's been, for the past few years, I should say, it's been like that. A little more competitive market. It does make you more competitive, obviously, if you have more ratings or if you have your ATP CTP done, your written done. If you have your ATP, it makes you more competitive, obviously. But at what cost, right? But I don't want this qualification, getting the ATP CTP, to take away from you building hours, because that's really, really important, is building those hours and building hours which you need for the airlines. Number one, for your ATP. I want you to list all the things you need for your ATP and the requirements for your multi-engine ATP, and try to keep getting closer and closer to that. So say you have 2,000 hours but 0 multi-engine hours, I'd concentrate on getting those multi-engine hours so you can get your ATP. So that is something that's really, really important. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I recommend for those that are having a tough time with what's going on right now, things have really changed. There's a book that I would always recommend to the folks that used to work for me, and just in general in life, and that's actually called Who Moved My Cheese? It's an amazing way of dealing with change in your workplace, but in life in general. It's in our recommended reading list, and you can actually just go ahead and click on recommended reading on the right side of the screen at Aviation Careers Podcast, and that is the one at the top. It's our actually monthly recommendation, but it's always going to be on there. It's a book that I think is great for your career, so we leave it in our recommended reading list. But this is the book of the month this month. I would recommend reading that and looking at those things in there that you can relate to as far as what's happened in the marketplace. It really has changed. Things really, really have changed, and they always will. So we saw at one time when I started, 250 hours, you get hired with an airline. Now we're at 1,500 hours. We had a time that was 250 hours and you get hired with an airline in a lot of these cadet programs. And that's another question that comes up. Should I do the cadet programs? Apply as many as you can. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Just keep going forward. Again, build your hours. But if you're, in your case, and in everybody's case, if you're a little bit tight on money, I would wait until you actually are ready to start applying for the airlines to do that ATP CTP. I think most people would think that I'd say, yeah, go ahead and do it. It all really depends on your situation, because not everybody has the money and the time to go ahead and do that. If you're going to take away from the time building, then maybe not right now. Make sure you get your qualifications first. The ATP CTP, that's a course you can go and get that done right away. So to sit for your written exam for your ATP, you need to have that ATP CTP. That's a certified training program is what we're talking about for those folks that don't know. It's a new rule, to sit for the written exam, you have to go through a certified training program. Is there any ones that I recommend? I get that question often, and I have to be somewhat careful what I say there because there's many of them that I do recommend. We talk about that in our coaching. Let me just throw one out there, maybe two. There's the one that's run by, Delta Services, Delta Professional Services. I have to find the link somewhere, but it actually is really good. Their ATP program, you can actually get a tour of their facility there and of their museum at Delta Airlines in Atlanta. So that's actually really cool. It's a good networking event. There's other ones that are out there, Aerostar. There's all sorts of companies that do your ATP, CTP. And the thing that's really cool is it could be at a really reduced price if you go ahead with somebody and go in with somebody and get that ATP, CTP. So would I recommend at 700 hours, you're getting your ATP, CTP, and getting the written out of the way and all that? I'd say it really depends. It depends on, how much time is it going to take away from you, if you can afford it. If it's going to take a lot of time away from you building the hours, I'd say, maybe not. But it really, really depends on your situation. One of the things you can do is, get with us and talk to some of the coaches here at Aviation Careers Podcast. You can look at our mentorship program. Again, you get 1 month free when you sign up. It's aviationcareerspodcast.com/mentorship. We meet at least twice a month, and I do just this, answer these questions. I couldn't answer this one because, again, we also have the pilot interview course in there where we're doing, this month it's Piedmont Airlines we're doing right now. And we're going part 1 we're doing on Wednesday, and then we're going to go through a lot of different airline-specific and also general aviation questions out there. People like that format. Instead of me just doing straight videos, I actually do them live and people can ask questions. So I hope that helps you. Again, most importantly, find out from friends, family, etc., where you might be able to find a program that actually is a good price and actually does a good job. Also, certain ones out there allow you to do a lot of networking. I would go towards those. Check out our coaching program, and do me a favor, if you can, make sure that after we're done with this video, you go out and do some searches online, but don't stop at this video. Make sure you start really doing something today to move forward in your career. The most important thing you can do is not stand still. Remember, like I said, I don't want this taking away from you building time. You're at 700 hours, need to make a decision now. I would say if it's a real good deal, go for it. If it's $100, yeah. If it's $5,000, maybe not. We want to kind of hold off. You never want to time the market. You never want to try to predict what the hiring is going to be like 3 months from now. But just remember this, when you get to 1,500 hours, you're eligible to be hired at the airlines. That's when you start making yourself more and more competitive. So again, depends on time, depends on money, and I think that you should look at those two right there. Hopefully it's helped, but make sure you do something for me. Take one step today to move forward in your career and your life, and I know you will get to your goal sooner than you think. Talk to you next episode. Safe flying out there.